Vespers is the traditional monastic evening prayer shared at sunset. It's a time for us to change the pace of the day as we settle into the evening and relax. A time for reflecting with gratitude on the day and unwinding into a more contemplative mindset. We're going to begin with a little bit more music, and it is Amazing Grace, sung by Peter Hollins, featuring Home Free.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that led me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. Oh, he will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Then when we first begun.
We light our chalice, symbol of our faith, with words from William S. Fice. We light this chalice as our fervent plea to brighten the dark corners of our hearts. We hold this flame, for in it is the promise of warmth for souls grown cold in gloss and despair. We kindle this light that we might continue to find comfort in its warmth, the strength in its light, holiness in its presence. We follow this light, that it might illuminate our search for purpose, for meaning, and forgiveness. We light this chalice, knowing, even as the sacred spark of life is extinguished in the ensuing darkness, its light, their light, will still burn bright with all the memory and hope of its all too brief flash across our lives. We light this flame of love and truth for the divine promise of the healing hearts. So now let us light candles to represent the joys and sorrows present in the silence among us today. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do these candles. Please bring into your hearts and any sorrows and joys you're carrying with you this week as we hold this space for our community and the world. First, we light a candle of joy. For all the people and things in our lives, both large and small, that brighten our lives and fill our hearts with joy. A candle for our concerns, for our loved ones near and far. We light the candle. And finally, a candle for the world that is in desperate need of our love and care. We light this candle for those harmed by violence, whether from war, oppression, or the rage of a single individual. May these candles bring light and hope to us as we take a quiet moment with the ringing of this bell to reflect on the joys and sorrows we carry in our hearts. Our Vespers this evening will be a continuation of the spiritual practice of the poem readings and contemplation that some of us took part in on Sunday. And the reason we're continuing the practice today is because today is actually All Souls Day, the day on which we do remember those who we loved who are no longer with us. And then we'll have music interspersed as a secondary form of poetry that moves our hearts and lifts our spirits. Let us begin with our first poem. It's called Farewell, and it's by Francisca Aguirre, translated by Ana Valverde Osan. To say goodbye means so little. We said goodbye to childhood, and it came after us like a dog tracking our steps. To say goodbye, to shut that obstinate door that refuses to remain closed, the persistent scar that oozes memory. To say goodbye, to say no. Who achieves it? Whoever found the magic key? Whoever found the point that slides us toward oblivion, the land that will extirpate the roots without remaining forever closed over them. To say goodbye, to turn one's back, but who knows where the back is? Who knows the way that does not die in the well-traveled shortcut? To say goodbye, to yell because one is saying something, and to cry because nothing is being said, because saying goodbye is never enough. Because to say goodbye completely might be to find the spot where to turn one's back, the spot to sink oneself into the final no, while life slowly seeps out. That was Nobody Knows by the Lumineers. And our next poem isn't so much a poem as it is a reading from John O'Donohue, his book Beauty, The Invisible Embrace. The dead are not distant or absent. They are alongside us. When we lose someone to death, we lose their physical image and presence. They slip out of visible form into invisible presence. This of form is the reason we cannot see the dead, but because we cannot see them does not mean that they are not there. Transfigured into eternal form, the dead cannot reverse the journey or even for 1 second re-enter their old form to linger with us for a while. Though they cannot reappear, they continue to be near us, and part of the healing grief is the refinement of our hearts, whereby we come to sense their loving nearness. When we ourselves enter the eternal world and come to see our lives on earth in full view, we may be surprised at the immense assistance and support with which our departed loved ones have accompanied every moment of our lives. In their new, transfigured presence, their compassion, understanding, and love take on a divine depth, enabling them to become secret angels, guiding and sheltering the unfolding of our destiny.
Song from the We Can't Dance album. It's called Since I Lost You.
It seems in a moment your whole world can shatter like morning dreams. They just disappear like dust in your hand, falling to the floor. Well, how can life ever be the same? 'Cause my heart is broken in pieces. Yes, my heart is broken in pieces since I lost you. Well, it's all too easy to take so much for granted, but it's oh so hard to find the words to say. Like a castle in the sand, the water takes away. Now how can life ever be the same? 'Cause my heart is broken in pieces. Yes, my heart is broken in pieces since I lost you. Oh, now you'll never know. Now you'll never see it. All those things I planned for you and me. My heart is broken in pieces. Yes, my heart is broken in pieces. You know my heart is broken in pieces since I lost you. Since I lost you. Since I lost you.
That was Phil Collins singing Since I Lost You. So the contemplative practice that I planned for us this evening is because it's All Souls Day, and it's also one of the practices we did on Sunday, which is the naming of the people who we've lost, who we love. But I would like to open it to not just those people, but also animals or plants who've been meaningful in our lives who are no longer with us. And even though we're remaining on mute, I'm asking if you would either speak their names aloud into the space around you, or write them down, or even just silently call them into your mind. And whichever method speaks to you, call these beings into not only your memory, but bring them into your heart and feel their presence. And as you end your time of naming and remembering, speak your gratitude for their presence in your life. We'll have a few moments of silence, and then I will ring the bell and we'll move on for a final reading.
Do not stand at my grave and weep. Possibly by Mary Elizabeth Fry. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die.
Our time together is drawing to a close, and I want to acknowledge how hard this time of year can be, but I also find for myself great comfort in saying the names of remembering and feeling the love that I have and that they had for me, for my loved ones. And our benediction this evening was inspired by a closing that was written by Reverend Joel Miller called "Let Our Lives Be a Prayer." Let our lives be a prayer that lift up gratitude for our beloveds who are no longer with us, nourishes the spirits of our ancestors, keeps them alive within our hearts, and welcomes their ongoing presence in our lives. May it be so. Thank you all for being here. We're going to conclude our Vesper service this evening with "Oh Danny Boy," sung by Sinead O'Connor. Please type your good nights and goodbyes and stay for our closing song if you'd like. We'll wave and log off in silence when it's finished. It's kind of a long song, so if you feel like you need to leave, feel free to do so. But if you stay till the end, we'll wave. Have a peaceful, peaceful night.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are falling. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow, and I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I may well be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me, and I will hear, though soft, your tread above me, and o'er my grave will warmer, sweeter be, and you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I will sleep in peace until you come to me. But if I live, and should you die for Ireland, let not your dying thoughts be just of me, but say a prayer to God for our dear Ireland. I know